What's up, guys? Today we're taking a look at this knife. This is the Civivi Bhaltair. I believe that's how it's pronounced. This is a very large knife, full size, large blade, just very big. You see here it has a pretty thin blade stock though. So we're gonna take a look at this. The Bhaltair. This came out a little while ago, I think last year sometime, and it's got a beautiful blade. Look at this beautiful Spartan style Tanto blade. Look at all those grind lines. Really very interesting blade there. It's got, a line here with the Tanto. It's got the line that goes up to the tip. Another Tanto line there. I mean, the flat comes all the way out and almost to the tip. You only have this much that's not on the flat, but very interesting. Full flat grind. It's got the big swedge. Very interesting design. Got these nice thumb studs, which work really well, and it's got a flipper tab, and it's very smooth. I put some KPL in there. Ball bearings in the pivot. Flips open, falls shut. Very nice action. Completely fall shut, pretty much. I mean, yep. Detent works well. It's not like a super stiff detent. It works better on the thumb studs. It's snappier if you use the thumb studs. I think it's tuned better for the thumb stud action than the flipper tab. If you just you can light switch it, but honestly, this one's more like a push button flipper. And it works really well if you push button it. If you don't give it a lot of gas, it won't come out. So you do have to give it a little bit of effort when you're flipping it, but any effort, put towards it, it's going to come out. I think the thumb studs do work better though. We've got some jimping up here on the top of the blade, where your thumb lands, which feels good. I get all 4 fingers on this. I mean, this is a big knife. I can wrap my whole hand around that. Really nice G10. This is a tan G10. It comes in a couple different versions. Got the peel ply texturing here. This 3 lines is kind of unique, and it's got this chamfering around the edges, which is kind of cool. Just make it a little more rounded. It does have the steel liners underneath, so they're not nested. Kind of wish they were nested. That would make this knife even thinner, and I think Civivi should always nest their liners, and unfortunately they don't always do that. Sometimes they do, but not often. A lot of times you just get these steel liners. As you can see in there, there's a lot of weight reduction, pockets milled out for weight reduction, so that's really nice to see. So it's not too heavy at all. Got this 2 standoffs, nice standard deep carry pocket clip that Civivi likes to use, with a little hook there at the end. Completely flush with the screws on the handle, so nothing to snag your pocket there. Not too bad. Really good to see. Standard pivot. This knife comes in, which one is this? Is this 14C or Nitro V? I believe. Take a look at this real quick. Yes, this knife is 14C 28N. They like to use 14C 28N and Nitro V as well on their knives, so just had to make sure it was 14C. That's what steel they used on this, 14C 28N. It's an excellent budget steel. Works really well. Holds a great edge, and very happy with it. I decided to get the dark version just because I like the black and the Tanto together. I think it looks nice with the overall design, and it looks good. It's more of like a curved. It's not really straight on the top. It's like curved all the way from one end to the top to the point. One end to from the bottom of the knife all the way up here, and then it juts down to the Tanto blade. So a little bit interesting that it does curve. So the one thing, this is a liner lock. You see the disengagement, the engagement there, the blade. Disengage it, fall shut, and it's perfectly centered. So this is just like standard Civivi quality, what you expect. It's excellent. I mean, Civivi makes excellent knives. I mean, if you've ever tried a knife from Civivi, this feels just like it. But the one thing that this knife, its fatal flaw in my opinion, was that the scale originally came way further up like that, and you couldn't get as good access to the liner to disengage it. It was a little bit hard to disengage, and because of that, I decided to take it apart and grind away the liner and the scale here, so you get better access to that liner. As you can see, there's a lot more access, more room to get your thumb in there and push it over and disengage it, and it works a lot better now than it did before. So that was a little modification I did. I think it should have come better, more like this from the factory. QSP Knives does a really good job of this. They leave a lot of room for you to disengage the liner. But Civivi knives, a lot of Civivi knives don't as much. They just put like a little bit of jimping on here, which does help, but it's a lot easier when there's actual room on on the side when you build this front scale down, so you can push it over from the side. So you don't have to dig your thumb in there and, you know, push it over. But overall, not too bad. This is a big knife. Let's do some size comparisons. Since I have the QSC Penguin out here already, compare it to that knife and the Benchmade Bug Out. As you can see, they're very large knife, full size, big knife. Let's also compare it to some other common knives. We got the Spyderco Para 3 and PM2. So you can see there, PM2 is full size already, and it's even bigger than that. So you see this is definitely, I would say, closer in size to a knife like the 308, ZT308. It's a little bit bigger, like in that size range, as you can see there, similar in size to that knife. Move down here so you can tell. There you go. So definitely more similar to that size knife is what you're talking about. I'll also compare it to some other Civivi knives. I've got the Praxis here and the Backlash. So compare it to those, Civivi Praxis and the Civivi Backlash, two of their first models that they came out with. And then I have one more Civivi model I'll put in here, the Vision FG. As you can see there, it's bigger than all of these. So it is longer than the Praxis. It's very large. I already think the Praxis is a full-size knife by itself, but it's even bigger than the Praxis. So it's a big knife. Here I also did the same thing. You can see I ground down this so you get better access to this liner on the Praxis as well. So it had the similar problem. So I decided to do that. But I think that really fixed the whole disengagement for me. It doesn't bug your finger as much now. It's really easy to disengage and open and flip and everything. Really nice detent with the thumb studs, like I said. Works really well. You can reverse flick it with the other thumb stud. It's just a really big, beefy kind of knife. It's a little bit thinner. It's kind of interesting thing. The beefy knives usually have thicker blade stocks. This one is, I would say, closer to the thickness of a Bug Out. Maybe not quite as thin, but as you can see there, it's much closer to that than, say, the 308, which is going to be thicker. So it's definitely closer in blade stock to what a Benchmade Bug Out would be, or maybe a Praxis. I think the Praxis is also pretty thin as well. So as you can see there, definitely thin, which is a little bit interesting. Usually big, chunky, large knives like this are thicker, have a thicker blade stock. But this one's very thin, and it helps it slice really well. So yeah, last thing we'll do here is we'll take the size comparison, or the weight on this knife. Sorry, we already did the size comparisons. Let's do the weight on this knife. There you go. It's 5.9 ounces. So it's overall, it's pretty heavy because of those steel liners. They did mill them out, but it's still going to be heavy. It's just the nature of the beast. That's the way it is. And overall, pretty good knife. So that's about it for this one. Very comfy. I'd say it's a very comfy knife. Very open grip. Comfy. You can even choke up here. You got the right above the flipper tab. You can choke up if you really want to. But overall, pretty good knife. Let me know what you guys think. And that's about it. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and have a great day. Bye.